Alright, I managed to get back here to make another video, and I'll just try to update some different crosses and things in the fish room and the super secret fish room I'm in now, which is actually the computer room upstairs, but instead of putting a bed in there, I put about 7 tanks. So anyhow, these young looking guppies are... Let me pick up my wonderful piece of paper so I know what I'm talking about. These are the yellow Delta males, Snow White Albino female fry from January 19th. So it looks like I have 2 different color fry in here, which is going to be interesting. You can see the one in the middle here is kind of a very, very light blondish color. And almost all the other fry are like a gray color. All of them have black eyes, which was expected because the albinos and the yellow deltas were not compatible. If there's any albino gene in the yellow deltas, it's not on a compatible gene as the Snow White Albinos. So next thing I thought I'd update is a tank with some dirt and some live baby brine shrimp. This is the attempt at trying to get a like a lilac colored snakeskin. You can see that as opposed to the father of these fish, which I showed in a prior video, that these males that are in here have some white spotting or like a mosaic pattern in the tail. But they do have a very nice snakeskin pattern. Not too much in the way of black spots like the red lace snakeskins have, but that may develop later. But I do have this one, which is very interesting. I think in the last video I updated these fish. I said I was going to pull that one out, and I still haven't, because I have no place to put stuff. I'm still working on that. Still hoping that the new fish come in within the next couple of days. I think I have 2 tanks that are set up and aged, and I got to do the other 3 tonight or tomorrow. So these fish, I forget how old these are. I wrote it down and I don't know where I put the piece of paper. But judging from the size, they're probably about 4 months old. I don't think they're going to get a delta tail. In fact, I'm pretty sure of it. They're not going to get a very long dorsal, the males. And if all goes well, the dorsal will change color to match the tail, but that may not happen either. But this one's pretty interesting. I really like that strange looking pattern. So, alright, I'll update some other stuff and be right back. Okay, and these are the Snow White Albino males and the Yellow Delta females. You can see that I have some pretty young fry in there. I still have this one with the yellow stripe. He's hanging in there, but he's starting to fall apart a little bit, getting a little beat up. So I think he's about 10 months old, so really not much longer of a lifespan going on there probably. Anyway, there's a lot of fry in here. It's a little hard to see with the filter in the way. With let's see, with all that background behind it. That's what I was trying to say. And the females in here have had quite a few drops. I think I've gotten 3 out of them. 3 drops, and the current drop that's in there, very tiny. They were really just born a couple of days ago, and hopefully we'll get a second generation out of these fish soon. I want to cross the young back to the parents and see if I can start getting some albinos with either a white color or yellow, and I'd also like to get a black-eyed white fish with a delta tail. So we'll see what we end up getting, but they're all doing extremely well at this point. Let me see if I can get these out of the way. at the top. There we go. So I won't get any color or any results out of this for a couple of months, but this is one of the first drops right there that they had. So I'm really hoping it'll end up being a male, but there's no indication yet. There's a few of them in there from that first drop, so there should be at least one male out of that batch. So we'll see, but it's definitely a lot of progress, a lot of fry, and I'll update some other stuff. And what do you call a cow during an earthquake? A milkshake. Ugh. All right, I'll be back. Okay, these are the three fry I had gotten from the cross of Russian red lace snakeskin males, 2 yellow delta females. As you can see, they are pretty much a snakeskin with a variegated pattern in the tail. They don't have real long dorsal development yet or tail development, so a little concerned about that, because I was really hoping to at least have the characteristics of the Russian red lace snakeskins be more dominant. But I do love the pattern. As you can see, I do have the black dots on the body side on both males, and the female is definitely hit, so we'll get the next generation from these males to that female, which is their sister. And I may take one of these males back to the yellow delta females, the mothers of the fish. I was thinking that might be a good idea. So they're in a small tank. It's like a 1-gallon tank with a filter, and they're doing great. And hopefully we'll get some more fry. I did get a couple of more drops, larger drops, from the parents of these fish, so that's promising, and hopefully they'll develop like these have. And yeah, I'll update some of the other stuff next. Alright, these are the breeders, next generation of the Snow White Albinos. These are the fish that I wasn't getting any fry for almost 2 months, so I fed them the medicated flake. Gave them the Peabody Paradise fenbendazole, and they've been on regular food now for about 10 days or so. The females are filling up nicely, although they were pretty fat to begin with before the treatment, but I just wasn't getting any fry. So trying to nip that in the bud, I got them treated with the fenbendazole. I'd like to get some fry out of them within the next couple of weeks, because after that I'm probably going to retreat just in case. But it kind of depends. If I get a nice drop of fry out of the females and the fry look healthy, then I may hold off on the second treatment. But so far so good with these. Really, like I've said before, beautiful fish. I've only had to cull some males, which would get like yellow in the tail, or almost like a creamsicle color, if you remember orange creamsicles, which were pretty darn good. And I think there's a Stewart's soda that's orange creamsicle that I used to drink, but don't drink that anymore. There's too much sugar in there. So anyway, these fish are doing great, and I'll update the other tank of them. If you remember, there was 2 tanks of them that I was treating, and so far so good with how they've bounced back. And boy, if this one doesn't drop fry soon, I'll be completely amazed. So alright, be right back. Alright, this was the other tank of the Snow White Albino breeders that I wasn't getting any fry out of. I still have a ton of plants up there. There's also a prior generation of fry up there. It looks like the light is kind of interfering with being able to see the fish pretty well, so maybe I'm better off on this side. So we'll see what ends up happening. I do think I'll get some fry out of them, very soon. This one is quite chunky, but not close to dropping fry yet. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But it's a shame I'm getting a glare. But if I turn the light out, we'll get nothing. See, there we go. It's a little bit better. So the tail on the one hiding behind the plants is getting a pretty ragged edge. That just comes from either getting nipped or getting a little bit older. But these are gorgeous fish. Very happy with this strain. I do have 3 other batches growing out, and I'll be selling some more soon online once the weather improves and I can trust the heat packs. So that's kind of the problem, is the post office takes longer to deliver priority than heat packs last. So I had bought 72-hour heat packs once 2 years ago, and I think I bought 24 of them, and not a single one worked, which kind of stunk. There was no guarantee on them, so I couldn't send them back. I've just never bought the 72-hour ones again. So anyway, that's what's going on with these fish, and I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, just write them in the comments or send me an email. And thanks again.